Good morning. Welcome to the IJF Referee and Coaches Seminar. Thank you all for coming. It's great to have the IJF here. We are only one of 6 IJF referee seminars in the world this year, and so I'm very pleased to have Mr. Barda, Mr. Barkos, and Mr. Trilla from the IJF to do the seminar. So thank you and welcome to Canada. Now I turn it over to Mr. Barkos.
Do you want to say something? Well, first of all, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here in Canada. It's not very often that something like this happens because some months ago we were as well in Montreal and we had a fantastic experience, great hospitality. And again, we are very, very, very pleased because we believe that this year the format of the seminars had changed in order to facilitate to many people all around the world, because as you know, in some cases IJF is paying the accommodation, but long flights is always tiring and expensive. And this time we have this, well, the executive committee, we have decided to prepare in different continents. The first one was in Mittersil. The second one has been in Tunisia, after Abu Dhabi, now Vancouver. Next week we go to Nicaragua, and after there is another one in Canberra. Thank you, Mr. Tamura, as president of Judo Association, Judo Federation of Canada. And I'm very, very pleased to have here, of course, my colleague and friend, Vladi, Tonino, our friend De Angelis, but especially Mr. Kojima. Mr. Kojima has been a real institution in refereeing matters and in the judo world. He was an excellent refereeing director and especially a gentleman. And I learned a lot about his way of understanding judo, creating some and maintaining the values of our sport, and I really appreciate that you can be with us. Jim, congratulations for being here. Thank you. Before starting the seminar, of course, today the program is more or less, we are going to work around 1 o'clock. We can be a little flexible. After, I think it will be 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, more or less, of break. Of course, perhaps a short break to have a coffee before. And today can be a long day, and well, more or less until 5 o'clock. And our idea is to finalize all the presentation. It will be a part of, most important is about the new changes of the rule, but also very important information about the qualification system, very important points about education as well. And tomorrow we'll have the practical part where Mr. Vladimir Barta will lead this part of the seminar, okay? But one very important point before starting the seminar. Some people are asking why we change so often the rules in judo. And I can answer that because we are in evolution of our sport. It doesn't mean that we are forgetting the values of judo. This is totally different. The values of judo are there and will be there forever. And this is fundamental, not to have any change. But everything is regarding the evolution of our sport to make easier, more understandable for the public, for the media. If it is easier and more interesting, after we can have a sponsoring. If we can have sponsors, we have more money to distribute to all the countries that don't have the possibilities to have money to buy the tatamis, to buy, let's say, judogis and so on. No? And to have the opportunity as well to organize different events, teachers, coaches. And this is very important to understand. What we are trying in this evolution for many, many years, starting in the past, continuing, as I said before, with Mr. Kojima, and now again, is to try not only the refereeing family, but the sports group, the education, the coach, media, everybody involved together to try to ameliorate and to try to get it better, let's say, rules and more understandable. And this is fundamental to understand that we change the rules together. Also, I don't want to forget Mr. Yamashita, that everybody knows, as responsible from the Japanese Judo Federation, Mr. Uemura from Kodokan, and a lot of Olympics and world champions that are also there, you know. And this time we have changed in, I think, in such important way, but we are going to offer you as well the first event that we had in Tunisia. It was the first Grand Prix, and I think we can get some good conclusions. After, when Tonino is ready, we are going to show the statistics, and you can see that we believe that we are in the good track to promote our sport. You want to say something? Please.
Concerning this changing of rules.
¿Qué pasó? No. Okay, please.
You know, after London Olympic Games, we had a meeting, and Mr. Jean-Luc Rouget, now General Secretary, President of French Judo Federation, they made a very interesting video, and was showing like 20-30 seconds of wrestling, Olympic fights, and then the same similar positions, similar attacks, showing judo. Wrestling, judo. Again, wrestling, judo. Was the same, was disaster. We were doing wrestling in judogi. You know, catching the legs, catching two legs. The fighters like this. You know, I said, we had to do something, otherwise then we have no answer for the IOC people. So what are you doing here? So we have two similar sports. One is in, just they put judogi, and the others are without. So, and this was the revolution, you know, to don't catch the legs, to don't really use the, I can say, easy techniques, because everybody from you in clubs, you start yourself and with your children, with your pupils, you start with nice techniques. Starts goshi, jime, goshi, ogoshi, this, osotogari, this basic, you know. And 5 years, 6 years, the guy's 14 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, goes to competition, boom, finish. And it happened. You know, it happened that the people with a strong uchimata, with strong haraigoshi, with strong these nice techniques, they couldn't simply do it. Because first, the athletes are extremely strong comparing with like in other sport, like in football. You see now the top football player is not even 1 second to do something. Immediately is attacked. So it's different. Judo also is different. Everybody is strong. Everybody is a very good defender. Everybody is really physically prepared. It doesn't exist like in my age, saying he doesn't have a physical preparation. Almost doesn't exist today. Everybody is well prepared. So we had to do something with this. This was the first change to make them fight like this. So, and then all the consequences, we had to react for some changing the rules. And especially, as Mr. Barkos mentioned, is to present judo to the public. In the Olympic Games, 1 billion people watching our sport or other sports. 99.5% doesn't understand our sport. So we have to present as much as possible to be understandable, at least understandable, who is going to win, who is winning, losing, and so on. It's not easy, eh? It's not easy.
Thank you, Vladimir. Adding something to that, as my friend Brady said, remember when we tried to avoid direct leg grabbing, many people start saying, come on, you are going to lose Morotegari, you are going to lose Teguruma, you are going to lose Sukuinage, so many good techniques. Yes, but we lose something to get something positive. And now we can see much better, performance, whether with Uchimata, Haragoshi, different. So again, the new changes of the rules are not going to be absolutely perfect. But as long as we are moving forward, as we are giving some improvement to our sport, this is great. And for instance, I can tell you now, judo in the context of the Olympic movement is much, much higher than in the past. Second, as I talked to you, as I told you about the sponsoring, now it's incredible. The level of the financial situation of IJF is amazing. Why? Because there are a lot of interest. Another very important point, we are inside CNN, and you know that not so many strong sports, especially some top sports in terms of financial power, you know, like, I don't know, yacht, golf, different, and now we are there. So that means that the impression is that we are, again, going in a good way. Now the changes, for instance, have been not so many, but very important ones. The first one is that Ippon is going to be a little more, perhaps sorry for my English, but a little more flexible. That means that so far you should, let's say, smash on the mat to the opponent to receive Ippon. And now we consider that the interpretation of Ippon should be a little easier, okay? This is the first point. We'll check some examples, some clips, and after you can have the same opinion or not, okay? In this seminar place, this is, as I always say, there is not an examination, there is nothing to discuss, but we need as well to receive your feedback to see if we are going well. Second important point is about simple, but it's important for the development of the running of the competition, is that to Wasaris Ippon. I know that some people are saying, yes, but if there are because now we have Yuko and Wasari together, and some people are saying, yes, but very close to Yuko, how is possible to make Ippon? Okay, first of all, the answer is that it can happen, it's true, but on the other hand, to throw the opponent 2 times, very, let's say, strongly, even if it is, well, we consider that can be acceptable. I don't say that it's perfect, but can be acceptable. All right, so this is another, but in this case, nothing changed. Wasari is together with Yuko. Yuko, no change. Perhaps in the future, when I say in the future, after the Olympics, or perhaps, I don't know, we can have a different idea. As I'm saying to all of you, the evolution is constant. This is the second point. Third point, very, very fundamental as well. In case of Kaeshi-Baza techniques, the most complicated situations is counterattacks. And the big scandals in our judo history, always with Kaeshi-Baza situations. I remember Shinohara and Duyet in Sydney. Still, there is not a common opinion about that. Because for one, it was Tori, for the other one, it was Suke, and it was a pity because the fantastic Olympic Games in Sydney, only people remember that situation of the final of the heavyweights. It happens the same in Paris, I don't remember the World Championships. North Korea against Georgia, the same problem. It was attack or counter-attack. Well, many, many situations. So we have decided that for a Kaeshi-Baza attack in Sutemi, Ma, or Yoko, Uke cannot use his back to throw the opponent. That means that must be before. Again, we'll have some clips, and after we can talk together, we can discuss together. All right? Another very important point that you are going to be a little surprised is that from Nebatha to Tachibatha, as long as Uke and Tori don't have any dangerous situation, and there is not any reason to say mate, moving up, even if one of the players is on the knees, Tori can have the opportunity to throw. We have the opportunity, again, watching some clips, and obviously tomorrow in the practical part on the mat.
We can
Okay?
we can now.
No, we'll see you later. So this is a very important change. Why? Because we want to maintain the fighting spirit. It's not normal that if nothing happens, both players can move up. And if one doesn't want to move up because she's trying to defend the position, we give the opportunity to Tori to attack and to throw the opponent. Clear? This is very important, but again, we can talk and we can discuss later on. Another important change. That's the problem why we need the evolution. Because according what is happening in some competitions, we need to give an answer. We had a competition in Paris in 2017 in the final of, I can't talk because it's not a problem, countries or no countries, but to know what we are talking about two ladies, the final of the Grand Slam in Paris. 15,000 people on the mat, on the venue. And as Vladi was saying, a lot of people watching on TV. What happens? Okay. Two ladies under the 78. Referee, Ajime. One kick, another kick. One kick, another kick.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. Thank you. Thank you for the detail.
Don't overdo it.
It's not a joke. And after, of course, 1 minute, you know that we talk about 45 seconds more or less. Okay, the referee after 1 minute, 15 seconds or more or less, okay. Shido. Ajime. And again. Boom, boom, nothing. So, 3 minutes. And the referee again. Shido. 1 minute more. Finish the fight. 2-2. And the referee was in panic. The judges were in panic as well. The supervisors, Olympic champions and world champions, in panic as well. And the sports director and the refereeing director, we didn't know what to do. Going home or... 3 more minutes. Again, nothing. It was one moment that one of the ladies do something like this, Mate, the winner to the other. It was terrible for our sport, because imagine that you don't know anything, and you say, okay, you have some friends that give you some tickets, and say, oh, well, perhaps I'm thinking I have 2 daughters, or oh, perhaps judo can be wonderful. Okay, they go to the sports hall, and they say, what? 8 minutes, and they are the best in the world? Final of the Grand Slam? Imagine that happens it could happen in Tokyo in the 2020. So we made a very, very extreme decision. That is, that if this thing, something like this happen, we can give both Hansoku Mate, because a lack of, let's say, fighting spirit, okay? And the decision, after our friend is going to explain, you can explain now what is happening if something like this.
You know, the decision was easy. Juan asked me, Vladi, make the boas are losers.
Yeah.
It's not so easy, because it can be really a problem for example, for Olympic Games, because when you have 2 losers in semifinals, you don't have two fights are over. You have no final, and you don't have 1 bronze medal. But anyhow, it's much better, I realized that much better to start with this with this possibility now, that they realize they must do something, because it's really shame, you know. And in this case, when it's both for Hansokumake like simultaneously, then they are both losers. So in the first, second, third round, they are out of the competition. When they are in a quarterfinal, so they are both sevens. So we have a 3 7th place in this case. When it is semi-final, they are both fifths. We have 3 5th place. And if they are in final, so they are both second. We decided that it's not nothing against the, nothing strongly against the spirit. I mean, like if they are hitting each other or something like this. It's Hansokumake, just Hansokumake, because this is the situation, and we will keep them the points for ranking, and we will keep them. So if they are both seconds, they will not lose this second place. But we must do something with these examples, which was in Paris was seen, you know, was very obvious because of TVs and public, and you know how it's Bercy, it's full. And, but it can happen in many other competitions, not so important, and it's really not good for our sport. It's easy to say, you know, why are you traveling from the other continent to final? You don't want to fight. So this is we have to. It's shame to say, like Juan said, do this, stop, Shiro for the other, because we don't know what to do with this fight. The other thing is what happened now in Tokyo when Mr. Ogawa was fighting with Mr. Krpalek in the final heavyweight, you know, and they really were like 10 minutes, and they were really extremely tired, but you saw a performance. You saw a nice fight. You saw really fighting them. They get extremely tired after they. It's very difficult for them to do. But it was completely different than this nice example of those ladies.
Okay, so we strongly believe that if we have this possibility, players are going to know that can happen, and we are convinced that this is not happen very often in the future, okay? Because if they know that they can both be the losers, they should do something. It's the same, you remember in the past, another very important point is that we want that our sport must be very safe. This is fundamental. And now we don't have any situation of diving, practically. We don't have any situation of kawasugake. We don't have any situation of kanibasami. That means that when players know that they can receive a hansokumake and not continue in the competition, they don't do it. So we strongly believe that with this new rule, because another idea is, for instance, if something like this happens, the commission members can say to the referee, please advise to both players that next time both are out, okay? We must find a solution to simplify and to make it easier, but we believe that it's going to be a good decision, okay? After I forgot to tell that is another point very important about defending the landing with the head. And this is also that we want to deter and we want to avoid, because for strong players it's not a problem to use the head, generally speaking. But if the children try to use the head to defend a landing, can happen a big disaster, can happen a big injury, you know? The same with landing on the elbows and landing on the hands. We are going to watch all these things, okay? But this, generally speaking, is what we are going to talk during this seminar. Of course, we are totally open to your questions, to your difference of opinion, to everything that you need to ask, or if you have to raise some questions, please don't hesitate to do it, okay? We don't want that this seminar is this part of the table and you. No, we are together, and working together is much easier for us to continue in a good way than only saying you must do that and that. In every seminar, there are always fantastic questions that help us to say, okay, this is true. Yeah, we can give the evolution, you know, and this is interesting. Okay, let's go to, if you want, to the first statistics. You have a, as I told you, in Tunisia, the Grand Prix in Tunisia, it was the first event with the new rules.
After.
Sorry?
We saw the statistic 2016.
No. First, we are going to watch the statistic about the performance in 2016 and 2017 without the implementation of the new rules, okay? But also it was a good progress. Let's watch.
Che dici? Andiamo un po' più avanti per te, per vedere.
No, it's okay. Vedo qui.
Allora,
Ok.
aumenta.
Non è nella pantalla?
Oh.
We see quite good here. So.
Okay. So as you can see, in 2000 we had practically the most important thing is the number of fights. Move a little bit. We are talking about practically nearly 6,000 fights that we have the statistic. Now, No, but the average, please, at the beginning.
Average.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
total.
Move. Yes. So as you can see, watch carefully. In 2016, we have a 77 of positive scores, and in 2017, 81.5, more or less. The number of Ippons it changed a little, but after the negative scores, obviously we had less negative situations in 2017. Move. Also the golden score, it changed because the different situations of the rules.
5 minutes or 4 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, you know.
Golden score.
And the golden score also changed dramatically because what we are talking about.
This is interesting.
Yeah. But in more or less the average time of the golden score, it was 112 in 2016, 124 in 2017. That means that, you are going to receive all these statistics, but only to understand the most important point, that the scoring, it was increasing more and more, okay? And the average of golden score, of course, changed. Now you can put the...
Yeah. No, this is interesting also to talk about the techniques that we have.
Well, we don't need to talk here about all the different techniques. Again, you are going to receive this information, and after you can check and you can see what are the real points.
The same for Hasukumake.
Yeah, the same for Hasukumake.
Now it's a bridge more than before because
Yeah.
the new rules.
Yeah, now, exactly, as you can see, breach is happening more often because we are more strict with all these situations where Uke use his or her head.
Shido.
Yeah, see the penalties, you can see as
more or
well.
less the same.
Yes, more or less the same.
And this is the difference with the
And of
regular-
course, the new implementation of the rules, you remember that last time we changed, instead of Shido, or instead of giving Hansokumake directly, now we give Shido, okay? That's the reason why it changed a lot as well, the number of Shidos.
Okay, this is.
Okay. Do you have any questions? And now we can go to the Tunisia,
Yes.
to the competition. What is interesting in Tunisia is that the scoring has increased. You remember 76 or 77, 81, and now we have 85. That means that with the new rules, the level of scoring is higher. Of course, the number of Ippons is higher because now we have Wasaria Waseta Ippon, that is Ippon. But the most important thing is that we continue increasing the positive scores. It's only the first competition, but we are convinced that it is going to continue happening this, okay?
Nice comment.
Look. Yes. Okay, you could see
376 fights, 239 finish for Ippon, and 81 for Vasari. It means that we have
85.2, eh? That is very, very important. And after the number of golden score, it has been, not so bad, 17%, no, more or less.
Yeah.
And what is fundamental as well is that we reduce the time of the competition a minimum of 20%. This is also fundamental. That means that in a whole competition of 10 hours, we can finish in 8 hours. And this is also interesting for our sport. Our sport, many people from the media came to say, excuse me, but your competition is so long. Imagine a match, a football or soccer match with 5 hours, 10 hours, 7 hours. All the sports try to reduce time. Tennis, a lot, because you cannot be for, and this is also very interesting. But what is fundamental that to do all these things is that the work of the referees can be very strict. Because in the past, when you imagine you have two players, three wasaris in the past, or four wasaris, and after golden score, the referee to give a shido, it was very hard because they say, my goodness, after a fantastic fight, you give a shido and you finish the fight. But now, because you can lose only with 3 shidos, if you maintain the consistency from the beginning until the end, there is not a problem. Because if you have 2 shidos, it's your risk. If after you go out, first shido, finish. Understand? This is very important. We must try to standardize the criteria to say, using the rules from the beginning until the end. And we don't have any more the problem, as I'm telling you, that one shido can make decisive for the running of the fight. Clear? Okay, if you agree, sorry, you have any questions? No. In that case, we start with some clips about Ippon. And you let us know what is your opinion, okay? If you have a different idea, no problem. Okay, stop 1 moment. In this example, in the past, so far we say, it's a little rolling on the back. But come on, it's so difficult in Okouchigari, Ouchigari. Obviously there is a little rolling, but the action is totally, globally accepted as Ippon. It was very interesting. You will have in the rules that our Japanese friends from Kodokan and from the Japanese Judo Federation give a fantastic explanation about what is the consideration for Ippon. I think I have here. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they say, so to be honest, I didn't know that. They talk about 2 points in the concept of Ippon. Ikioi, that means momentum with both force and speed, and hasumi, skillfulness with impetus, sharpness, or rhythm. At the end, criteria for Ippon, that is the most important. Speed, force on the back, and skillfully control until the end of the landing. Simple like that. Again, in the past, somebody can say, oh, the commission told us that if it is a little rolling, wasari. Now we say, Ippon.
We can show those.
You agree with that? We show again, please.
No, this,
No.
you want to do so.
No, this is
No?
No, after we show, but.
Maybe this.
Yeah, maybe this, yes. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
interesting,
this
yes.
is what,
Show it, yes.
This is the last one.
No, tú no. Okay, no, it's not inside. Well, again, if you fulfill these 4 points of Ippon, Ippon can be accepted. Let's go. Yes, here, yeah. Some examples, to more or less to give some guidelines about the perception of Ippon or Wasari.
This is a rolling.
Because this is the rolling actions as well. Because if you roll from one side to the other, but with such speed control can be Ippon, again, we'll see some clips that can clarify much better than only talking about. But this you are going to receive in order that when you can teach your students, you can explain more or less what is the idea, okay?
You understand this? Yeah?
Okay.
And then to compare, please, Tonino, Vasari.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean this. Tonino, you don't have this.
You want to show?
No, we can watch this with Wasari, okay? Okay, so we watch again. You see? But it's not there. Tonino.
Something is wrong there, maestro. Non è colpa mia. Non è colpa mia. Something is wrong there.
Okay.
Okay, watch again. All right? Obviously enough to give a score. Second, another example. Low a little the changing pole, la música,
sì.
noise. Ok, secondo esempio.
Dall'altro lato vuoi vedere? No.
No, non hai bisogno. Same. It's totally controlled, clearly on the back. All right? Watch again. Boom. Ippon.
I think this one is better to show.
Now we show from the other side. Okay? Everybody accept that? It's okay? Again, we are a little more flexible, but all the conditions for Ippon are there. Why not to give Ippon? Okay? Third. If you have any questions you want to watch again, well, this is, you see, the referee gave Wasari, but to be honest, we cannot blame the referee because it was the commission who say, as long as you roll all the, but this is rolling, but rolling so quick from the beginning to the end that this is acceptable. It's not only, we watch later some examples, but here is touching on the back. Watch, stop when there is, stop. No, before, a little earlier. Of course, it's so quick that it looks like it's rolling, but, oh no, a little earlier.
Ce la fa.
No? Okay,
Ma it's the same.
the
line.
idea is that it's such a speed, so strong, but the action is valid. Eh?
But it's like you saw in the line. The line is.
These lines that we try to give as guidelines, this concept is already. Okay, Ippon, all right? 4. Also, it's a little rolling, but it's so strong on the back that we accept, look, boom. Okay, Any doubt? You agree or not? Okay, perfect Ippon, yes? Somebody's thinking better Wasari or not? For you, Wasari? Why?
I still see the rolling.
Yeah, but again, perhaps we need to change a little this concept. As long as there is, look, boom, it's on the back. So perhaps we need to change a little this concept. Even rolling can be Ippon, as long as there is a strong on the back, speed, control, and so on. This is what we need to change.
I would like to mention that it also was a change proposed considering some techniques, because the fighters, they were focusing really to keep the uke and to throw him exactly on the back to get Ippon. So before, when you make a very speedy, for example, Tayotoshi, you couldn't produce Ippon. You couldn't. Because in Tayotoshi you had to stop and then to form him and put him. It was against the natural of some techniques, especially Tayotoshi. It's difficult to throw somebody on Ippon like we considered before, that Ippon must be like almost 100% on the back from half meter. So really like this, and these people dominate uke. They dominate. They throw him. And in some videos, you can see that what before could be considered for Vasari, you see, for referees, you see sometimes reaction of uke. He lost. He knows that he was thrown well, he lost. So you see it, he's loser. So even himself considered that he's Ippon. And we are looking if it was like this or it was like that. So these techniques today is it's helping, and also is very dangerous. Helping is that really can help, especially to the supervisors, to correct, because it's so speedy everything. But danger is that if they don't correct, the next hour is in YouTube everywhere, saying what they did there. Look, it's very, it must be really precise work for this.
Thank you. Again, it was our guidelines in the past, and now we need to change our. We were guilty about, not guilty, but we tried to have an evolution, as I said before. But also, if you prepare the kata, there are not so many landing only on the back. There is a rolling technique, generally speaking. So that means that we must accept that the judo is not only on the back, it's different components, So I believe that, again, we need to let's say, to amplify a little our feelings about Ippon, okay?
Sensei,
Yes?
you said about rolling,
Yeah?
but when you have a Tayotoshi, perfect one,
Yeah?
so you're going to control,
Yeah?
and you're going to throw
On the
right
side,
hand at the
wasari,
side.
wasari.
Yeah, but it's a perfect one with a control,
No problem.
speed, etc.
No, but if you fall on the side, it's on the side. You cannot give Ippon. But if you are rolling to the side, this is different. This is what Mr. Vladimir explained. If you fall clearly on the
We
side,
had a situation in Tunis, no? About this, the Tayotoshi that the Wookiee go like this, but not too much in the roll.
okay, we'll check later on. But again, the general concept is simple. If you roll and you finish on the side, it's not a problem. But if you don't roll and you fall on the side, it's wasari. Clear? But again, this is theoretically, is much better to watch every example. And after we have the opportunity to watch this situation, it's okay. But also we have said, we must give more responsibility to the referees. And if it is not a clear situation, we respect. Sometimes the referee give a wasari, and it could be Ippon, but we would like to respect the decision of the referees. Of course, if it is 100% not Ippon, and the referees give Ippon, our responsibility is to change. But if generally speaking, you are in such a situation that you can be or cannot be, to have the respect of the decision of the referees. One more. Ippon, eh? This one Ippon. 5. The same. It's like a little rolling, but obviously, in this type of actions, it's quite natural to do that. But as you can see, it's landing clearly on the back, control, speed, enough.
And not stop.
And of course, and what you are saying, without interruption. This is very important. This is totally, if there is an interruption, in this case, Wasari should be given. But in this situation, you can see that there is not interruption at all. So it's landing clearly on the back with enough speed. You see it? Boom. All right, for everybody? It's okay? Please, if somebody like to say no and give arguments, we are ready and happy to hear. Again, one more. Thank you. This is, you see, it's like a small touching on the side, but practically without interruption, clearly on the back. So you cannot say 1, 2. No, it's simultaneous action. Okay? Look. All right? Everybody can accept this as Ippon? Thank you. But this is even not necessary to talk. Well, okay, yeah, we show you one more time, but of course, okay. No, but in the past it was Ippon, now it's Ippon as well. That's and forever.
Just to confirm.
Yeah.
Only to confirm, but okay, it was nice.
Okay. Wasari or Ippon? Watch again. Okay, this is, in the seminar, it was a set borderline. Thank you for the word. In the seminar, it was decided could be Ippon. But is this the example that we are talking, that if the 3 referees give Wasari, the supervisors are not going to change? If they give Ippon, they are not going to change. Somebody like to say, yes, but what is your opinion? Yes. Again, judo, we don't have a photo finish like in track and field. Judo is sometimes, you see, you, depending on the side, depending on the position. And obviously, there are some situations where the limit is so close that both actions could be accepted. Again, the final conclusion of the seminar in Mittersill was to say Ippon. But if the referees give Wasari, we accept and we understand that can be Wasari because, as you say before, the borderline is very, very close. Okay, now.
You are thinking positive. This is the new style of people.
Yeah. So, as I told you, why we decide Ippon? Because we try to be a little more flexible with the Ippon. But again, it's not a problem if you give. Ippon or Wasari? Wasari how many? This is different. This is not totally on the back. Look. You see? It's much better. Here, it's much better to give Wasari because it's not clearly on the back.
You can see the back number.
You can see the back number, as Vladimir said. And in this situation, it should be more convenient to give Wasari. But again, you see? Not totally on the back. But same situation. Imagine that in the mat, depending on the position, sometimes you cannot watch carefully. What we have the advantage is that. Stop. Yes, sir.
Since it was Canada, so I say Ippon.
Oh, it's all right. I said, well, listen, don't worry. Don't worry. No, but
it's important to, as you say before, when you say the borderline, sometimes it's difficult because when the coach is coming to I don't want to say protest, but like to be sure that what happens, so on. And the answer which he should accept is it is a borderline, and in this borderline, all three referees put Ippon. It should be accepted to have a coach, you know, because of course when you mention Canadian or I mention Czech or whoever, it has nothing to do. We are really blue and white, finish, not. But you know. You too.
One very important point that I don't want to forget is that the evolution of the behavior of the coaches is dramatically much more positive than in the past. This is unbelievable. And also the fact that now we prepare the seminars not for referees, but together. Because it was in the past, I think it was like a tug of war, I can say that. Sorry, sometimes please correct me if I'm wrong with my English, but tug of war because referees, family of referees, coaches, referee, and this is absurd. We are together for judo. And the point is that sometimes we criticize in the refereeing family, the coaches, the behavior, but sometimes the behavior of the referees, it was not respectful regarding the coaches. And we tell many times to the referees, please, if you need to say to first warning, you cannot go to say, because the body language is very important. Somebody that is sitting there has a knowledge, has passion, has dedication, has talent. You cannot treat like without respect. So it's totally different if you say the first time, sorry, like a gesture to say, I'm obliged to give you that. And second, to invite to leave, not go. This is very important. Also the coaches is fundamental, the behavior. But as I tell you, it's incredible how more and more and more the behavior of the coaches is much better. And we understand that sometimes the pressure that they have because the results, the stress, it's not easy to maintain this behavior, you know. But again, it's fantastic. Better and better and better and better. And this is what we want. We are fighting for our sport. We are fighting for judo. And what is terrible is the behavior of coaches or the behavior of referees is bad. The education of our children is terrible, you know. Children must understand, we always say, judo is different. Of course. And we must do something but because that. And again, we are very extremely satisfied. There are not so many situations where the coaches came, and now we have a system that the coaches, when they have some, let's say, difficult situations, they can fulfill a paper, and after the preliminaries or after the final. Some people say, yes, but we cannot change anything. It's true. But on the contrary, it's not that the supervisors or the directors, we are more clever than the coaches. Of course not. In the most of the cases, the coaches know much better judo than us. But the different situation is that the coach is sitting here and only a view of the action and don't have the opportunity practically to be repeated. The supervisors and the refereeing directors, on the sports director, we have the possibility with an incredible technical group people that before we want to ask, they are showing immediately one side. After second camera, after the zenithal camera, and after to repeat again. Most of the cases, we can make good decisions because we have the possibility to watch, to rewatch, and to discuss together. And if there is not clear situation, and there is not unanimous decision, we prefer to say IJF. That's why, I don't say all the cases, but a lot of cases, 90, 95, or even more, when the coaches are coming, okay, because the answer is very, very logical. They say, from my position, I was thinking that it was totally on the back. But you have the opportunity, I have now the opportunity to watch from another side that it was not like this, you know? And this is what we want through our education, through our respect, to feel that we are working together for, again, the benefit of judo.
Thank you, Mr. Barkos. It's very important, really, because we have coaches, Olympic winners, medalists, world champions, so on, and they are really professional every day on the mat. And now they are really like a part of the family. And it's very bad to sometimes there is like referees something more than those couches. It's not. I got the video from Bolivarian games with one fight. Now I don't know what to say. Poor couch, poor fighter. I don't know what to say. He cannot change the fight, but it's disaster, the refereeing. I got it, the coaches asked me, what can we do? Nothing. But this is, you know, it must be an education commission working a lot for this. You know, we have, they know already that they are part of the show. They are part of the final block. They are filmed, they are in like 150, 170 countries live. And it's really, they become professional. They become professional. I can't compare when it was my time, you know, crying and this and therapy. Thank you, coaches. Really, it's a good job. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Vladi.
yeah.
Okay, let's continue with some more examples and then. Ippon? Of course not. Wasari. This is different. This is 2 times. First and after, go. Of course, now with the new rules, if you fall on both elbows or both hands, it's also wasari, even if you not continue. But imagine that, you see, the action, global action, is impossible to give Ippon. In that case, the supervisors change the decision. Of course, if the referees give Ippon, they say no. But this is a clear example of wasari. You will receive a pen drive with all these samples, of course. The same. You see, there is something missing for Ippon, and the wasari is more correct. One more, yes. You see, this is real rolling, and not strongly on the back, but real rolling. So, this case is much better to score wasari than Ippon. But again, this action, if the 3 referees consider because the position, well, it could be acceptable, but it's better to say that. 12. This is totally different as well. This is a impact on the side and after, but there is a break as well. This is different. Look, you see, first and after, continue. In this case, wasari should be more, let's say, logical, more suitable. Look.
Tashifasha finish here, and then
Okay,
we start with the
first and after. It's not a clear rolling without interruption. So in this case, it's more accurate to give wasari than Ippon. Okay, very interesting action as well. Look, the impact on one side, and after going to the other side, but it's not rolling on the back. And that's the reason why we say 100%. We are obliged, you see, first impact and after to the other side, the other camera. Okay, one, jumping to the other side. Exactly. In that moment, wasari should be more suitable, more acceptable than the other one. Watch again. Slow motion or on the other side, but it looks like Ippon. Yeah. Yeah. If you see very accurately, it can be, but again, this action in the real competition, the 3 referees can give Ippon acceptable, okay? But being accurate, you see that it's not totally on the back, it's on the side, you know? 15. And of course, some people say yes, but no, we must have an open mind to referee and common sense. And again, in judo, it's very subjective. Not every time is 100% sure. So we must have this in our mind. Okay, 15.
This is a rolling.
We believe as well that wasari, because there is a slow action, you see, rolling a little on the back. More accurate, we believe wasari. Somebody is thinking Ippon could be wasari better? Thank you. You see, it's a type of good control, landing on the back, but if something is missing, speed or, yeah.
This is more clear.
Yeah, okay. Well, this 16, the referee gave wasari, but we believe that, again, all the conditions for Ippon are there. Watch. Boom. Okay? It's not from the buttocks to the back. It's totally different. It's, look, it's here and landing on the back. Ippon is acceptable. What is clear is that if there is something missing of these four elements or conditions, you have the answer. That means, yes, speed, is, let's say, control, is, let's say, force, but it's not landing on the back. So, before, yeah, it's landing on the back, but it's not enough speed, wasari. That means that the idea is being flexible, but also taking into consideration the concepts of what we have explained before. Landing on the back, control, speed, and force. That's the point. You can roll, but it's so quick, without interruption. This is a very key word. Without interruption. And this is the point. And as you are saying, even with kids, you can be even more flexible. I mean, we are talking about high-level competition, but if you are with kids, and there's a good action, you give Ippon, and it's not a problem, you know, because the idea for kids is to throw, you know, and not to be so accurate that it's in one. Oh, of course, if it is in the side, it's in the side. But some actions that can be more or less fulfilling the four conditions should be acceptable. Thank you. 17, 18. Well, this one I remember that we give Ippon because it's practically, stop a little, could be Ippon. You know, now you see, but the rolling is on the back. Acceptable. But again, wasari, the three referees, wasari. Ippon, because it's practically rolling, but on the back. Not it's in the upper part, but it's true that there is a lot of contact if we check carefully, you know. It's more than in the shoulders, more than in the shoulders. Yeah, and now if you see the look, if you see the lines that we talked before, it's enough to consider on the back. That's the important point. You see, and this is the example that can be on the back. Okay, 18. 18, yes. This, we believe, better wasari. But again, why? Because this is first impact, break, a short break, but some interruption, and one, you see, and now two. In this case, but again, what we don't want to make this and a global opinion to try to maintain the same criteria for the future for everybody. And if you receive an Ippon on the competition, well, and you don't have enough computers or technical help, it's not a problem, you know. But now we can make a more accurate decisions.
Problem and interesting is that in seminars always we show the difficult cases.
Yes.
So that's why many times in, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, borderline. So we cannot show it easy. So it's the people like Tonino always choose the difficult cases. So.
What is also important to,
Okay. No,
for
that's
this.
why it's really sometimes not easy, and we have a cases who is for Vasari half and who is for Ippon half. So is that if we, the best experts in Pan America here, and we cannot decide unanimously that it's like this, so we have to accept that this is borderline.
But it's very interesting that more or less, I think we have step by step the same criteria, and this is very important. Somebody can say, well, for me it's different, okay. But generally speaking, if most of us, we can accept some guidelines, this is fundamental for the credibility of the players, the credibility of the coaches, and as long as we continue with this, it's possible that our sport is growing, 19?
No, what is important also that in these clips,
Yeah,
the action of Tachivasa finish and then start Nevasa.
Yeah.
So we must to consider very well what is the action of Tachivasa. The action of Tachivasa finish here and then start to move for Nevasa. This is good.
okay.
These clips is good to.
Thank you,
to show.
Tonino. 19? Wasari? Ippon. Of course, Ippon. Look, what do you need more? It's rolling, yeah, but it's rolling on the back so strongly. All the conditions are there,
It depends also from the techniques.
Yeah,
This is
well,
not your
that
torsion.
means, what can you do better? Impossible, because obviously this is different if you apply a let's say a mas sutemi vatha or yoko sutemi vatha directly, of course, is you use your back to throw the opponent. But it's totally to talk about kaeshi vatha. That's what we are going to watch later on. But of course, if you apply a mas sutemi vatha technique or yoko sutemi vatha technique, and you use your back to throw the opponent, is absolutely correct, absolutely valid. Here, look, boom. So Ippon, absolutely accepted. Thank you very much. 20?
No, we don't include. We go to
Ah, no,
the
no,
other side.
we finish because we start with another group. If you agree, we take a break of 15 minutes, a small coffee, and we'll relax a little, okay? Thank you.